Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Are you happy that you're in Alberta?
Very, very happy to be in Alberta, and the fact that we aren't as limited as everybody else that we hear who are.
Could you mentioned just before we started filming that you came to skate with your brother, and you didn't want to do it in each other's households because you can't do that right now. But can you?
We had to go outside to hang out, so we decided that this would be a good place to be. And believe it or not, I live in Calgary, but I've never been to Olympic Plaza.
Okay.
So first time for everything for us.
All right. So you went skating, and now you could even go get a haircut. Actually, the rules have changed.
I'm going to get my nails done. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it because I've been waiting 2 weeks to get my nails done.
Great. Hey there, Keean Bexte for Rebel News in Calgary, Alberta. My story today is that Jason Kenney, the Premier of Alberta, has decided to go a different direction than every other political leader in this country. From Justin Trudeau to Doug Ford, every politician right now seems to be on the pro-lockdown, pro-restriction train, absolutely terrified that people won't support them in the next election if they don't take away their rights. It's a weird dynamic that we're seeing here in Canada right now. In Ontario, you saw the police just over the last weekend violently arresting people, pulling them out of crowds by their arms and their legs for simply exercising the right of freedom of speech, expression, and assembly. In Quebec, you have the police going through streets late at night while people are under curfew at 8 p.m. It's crazy to think that this is the Canada we're living in right now, but Jason Kenney has said he wants to take his province in a different direction, and that's exactly what Alberta is doing. Social gatherings outside with people from different households, that's allowed. You can get your hair cut now, you can get your nails done, personal services like that are allowed. Jason Kenney says if cases continue to drop, then the economy will be allowed to be reopened more and more. It's a strange dynamic because right now in Quebec and Ontario, despite their draconian lockdowns and curfews, their cases are going through the roof right now, and Alberta's cases are dropping. And we're allowing more and more people to go about their lives. See, there's a difference between certain politicians here in this country. Some politicians respect you. They respect their people. They respect their electorate, and they want to get back to normal. And there's others that have tasted the taste of tyrannical power, iron-fisted power, like Doug Ford and the Premier of Quebec, and they don't want to let it go. Despite the fact that we're on the tail end of this pandemic, vaccines are being distributed, albeit slowly, because Justin Trudeau doesn't understand how to do his job. The one job that he has, procurement of vaccines, he can't do it. He doesn't seem to know how. His one job is to give crates of vaccines to provincial leaders to put into your arms. Doesn't know how to do it. Now, besides that point, we're at the tail end of this pandemic, and provincial leaders who have enjoyed the taste of power a little bit too much, they're not going to let this go. I'm going to go through the streets of downtown Calgary right now and speak with a few folks and see what they think about Jason Kenney relaxing the rules. Would they rather live in a tyrannical state like Ontario or Quebec, or do they enjoy Alberta just a little bit too much for that? But are you happy that the province is going in this direction as opposed to, Quebec and Ontario, one has instituted a curfew, the other has instituted stay-at-home orders, and Alberta's going in a totally different direction. Are you glad to be in Alberta as opposed to elsewhere?
I think just the decision should be data informed. Mm-hmm. So, if there's data that there are cases being transmitted through outdoor gatherings or through personal care services, then I think they should be shut down. But right now, I have not seen any data to support that, and especially no data to support the curfew in Quebec.
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I don't think there was. You can socially gather outside. You can go get your hair cut, nails done, personal services like that. Are you going to take advantage of that?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you are you happy, I suppose you might be, that you're in Alberta where this province seems to be the only province going in the other direction. Quebec, there's curfews, Ontario stay-at-home orders. Every other province seems to be losing their mind about it and doesn't really want to let go of the power that they've gotten since COVID came. They really enjoy it, it seems, especially mayors like John Tory. Even Mayor Nenshi here in Calgary is just kind of upset that things are getting back to normal. Are you happy to be in Alberta where the Premier is, leaning towards going back to normal faster than everyone else?
Yes, I'm very glad I live in Alberta right now.
How fast do you want to get back to normal?
As fast as possible.
Okay. Do you so on top of social gatherings, you're also allowed to go get your hair done and nails done.
Right.
And we're wondering if you're going to take advantage of that.
Yes.
When do you plan to get your haircut done?
Well, my kids
Okay,
desperately
sure.
need haircuts, so they'll be getting haircuts as soon as we can.
Okay, great. And do you think that it's a reasonable thing to allow social gatherings outside? Are you happy that Jason Kenney's sort of going in the direction of opening the province back up rather than, I mean, in Ontario and Quebec, there's a curfew in one and stay-at-home orders in the other. Are you happy to be in Alberta? Or?
Yes, of course. Happy to be in Alberta.
You know, Alberta is the only province right now that's going in the other direction, loosening restrictions rather than increasing them. In Quebec, they now have a curfew. In Ontario, there's a stay-at-home order. But here in Alberta, when Jason Kenney's the premier, he's going the other way. And our cases are actually going down. Are you happy that you're in Alberta?
Very, very happy to be in Alberta, and the fact that we aren't as limited as everybody else that we hear who are.
Could you mentioned just before we started filming that you came to skate with your brother and you didn't want to do it in each other's households because you can't do that right now. But can you?
We had to go outside to hang out, so we decided that this would be a good place to be. And believe it or not, I live in Calgary, but I've never been to Olympic Plaza.
Okay.
So first time for everything for us.
All right. So you went skating and now you could even go get a haircut. Actually, the rules have changed.
I'm going to get my nails done. Yeah, and I'm really excited about it because I've been waiting 2 weeks to get my nails done.
Great. So that was a pretty clear consensus. I talked to a lot of people today, and a lot of people were thrilled. They're going to go get their nails done. They're going to go take their kids for haircuts. They're going to get back to a little bit of normalcy. The only person I talked to today, two people, were two old ladies who were walking together who were really upset with these new rule changes. I don't think they really understood what they were, because if these rule changes that took place today hadn't taken place, they would have been breaking the laws. They were from two different households. They were also not wearing masks, but for some reason managed to berate me for also not wearing one. It's a little bit strange. I think that the pro-lockdown COVID crazies are a little bit hypocritical when it comes to it. They don't know the rules. They just know that they want to be panicked. They know that there should be a crisis going on. The mainstream media tells them there's a crisis. So, well, there's a crisis. They believe it. They believe the CBC. Granted, this woman also said that the CBC was center right from her perspective. So I guess that tells you where she's coming from. As for the rules here in Alberta, if the cases continue to drop, Jason Kenney doesn't seem to be the kind of premier who's going to overexert his authority and can continue pushing his thumb on the people of his province, like Doug Ford and the premier of Quebec. He doesn't seem like he is the kind of leader who is enjoying the restrictions on people's freedoms that he has instituted in the past. He seems to be the kind of leader who wants to get rid of those oppressions as fast as possible. Unlike Doug the Thug, the premier of Ontario, and the premier of Quebec, and pretty much every other politician in Canada, they're enjoying oppressing you. Keep that in mind. Thanks so much for tuning into our coverage here at Rebel News. If you go to rebelnewsstore.com, there's a whole bunch of merchandise that you can check out, from toques to shirts to sweaters to masks that say masks don't work. It's an epic store. You should really check it out. And you use the discount code Keean10, Keean 10. You'll get 10% off your order. It'd be great if you did it. I love all the toques that I have. I love all the sweaters. They're comfortable and they look great. Check it out, rebelnewsstore.com.